Hello guys. So I was unable to finish up the videos last night because right when I had ended abruptly, my daughter woke up. So here I am at school the next day. I'm in Mr. Covey's room, and if I'm ended abruptly, it's because Mr. Covey probably interrupted me. With that said, I ended off here with 4r equals -12. You divide it by 4 on both sides. R is equal to -3. I don't think that last part got into the video, but again, that's the answer for this is for number 17. So we're going to go on to number 18 now. And number 18 says in 1990, the population of a small town in Iowa was 7,000 people. In 2010, the population boomed to 13,750 people. And find the rate of change from 1990 to 2010. So rate of change is a fancy way to say slope. And you have two coordinate points. The first point that you have is 1990, comma 7,000. The second coordinate point you have is 2010 and 13,750. And what you need to do, you need to do x1 and y1, x2 and y2, and we're doing slope. We want the rate of change. So the slope is going to be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means we're going to get 13,750 minus 7,000, all divided by x2 minus x1 is 2010 minus 1990. And I got my handy-dandy calculator, so I'm just going to go and plug those into the calculator to see what I end up getting out. And I end up getting out, oh my gosh, this is too hard. This class is too hard. Alright, so I'm going to end up getting, no it's not, 6,750. And I'm going to type 2010 minus 1990 in the calculator, and I believe it's going to be 20. And our answer is going to be, I believe that's 337. 20. Yep. 375. Oh no. Oh no. Pause. I punched the wrong number in my calculator. It's 337.5. Or, since you can't have a half a person, 337 people per year. Answer is choice B. Number 19. Find the equation of the line that has a slope of 0 and passes through 4, 5. I'm going to go and give you this little gem, which a student this year taught me. Basically what it stands for, it's H0Y and VUX, or Hoy and Vux. It's horizontal. So H stands for horizontal. The O really stands for 0 slope. And it's always going to be in the form of Y equals. V is going to be vertical. A vertical line always has an undefined slope. And that's going to be when x equals something. This is thanks to Claire in my second period. She was the one that taught me this, and it's a great idea. So when I get an equation, when I get a problem that says find an equation of a line that has a slope of 0, I know for a fact it's going to be y equals something. So I know it could only be choice C and D. The y value is right here, so I need y equals 5. That's choice D. Number 20, find the slope and y-intercept of the line, 2x minus 4y equals 12. I think the easiest way we're going to do this is go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to rewrite the problem here. And in fact, when I showed one of my classes this, I don't know if I showed all the classes this, I don't really want y on this side. I could move the 2x and divide by -4. I don't like dividing by -4 though, because I mess up my signs that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really end up switching these two. And the way I do that, though, is I got to be careful about it. I'm going to get 2x. This was a positive 12. Now it's a minus 12. When I switch the -4y to the right side of the equation, again, the sign's going to change. So now I have a positive 4y. And I want to solve for y totally because to get the slope and y-intercept form, I need y equals mx plus b. So let's divide by 4 on everything. And I end up getting out 1/2 x minus 3 is equal to y, which means my slope is 1/2. My y-intercept is -3. And that looks like that's going to be choice C. Choice C. Okay, next problem. Write the equation of the line in standard form that has a slope of negative 4/5 and goes to the point negative 15.2. Okay, there's a lot of ways you can go about this problem. The way I'm going to do this, though, is I'm going to get this into point slope form, because that's easiest for me. So I'm going to do y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And by the way, I just realized, cross out b, man. B's not even in standard form. Standard form is when you have ax plus by equals c. You need numbers on one side of the equation, and then variables on one side of the equation, and then the constant on the other side. Just a reminder of standard form. A and B must be whole numbers. Which means C can't be it, because 4/5 is not a whole number. So my two options have to be A or D. On a test, if you're using that test-taking strategy, I applaud you, because again, using that sense and working with what you got to eliminate and give yourself better odds is a good idea. Okay, to use this form, negative 15 is x1, 2 is y1. So let's go and do y minus 2 is equal to, the slope is negative 4/5, that's m. And then parentheses, x minus a negative 15, which means we got a big old positive here. Let's clean up this side. So when I distribute negative 4/5 to both, to both parts, I get y minus 2 is equal to negative 4/5 x. And a negative 4/5 times 15, I could use my calculator for that if I need, and I get minus 12. I need to get the 4/5 x on this side, because that's going to be standard form is, again, when all the variables are on one side of the equation. I'm also going to move that 2. I got to get rid of that 2 and move it to the other side by adding it, doing the opposite. Let's cross out things that canceled here. So those canceled and those canceled. And I'm left with 4/5 x. This is a positive y, so plus y is equal to, and negative 12 plus 2, oh, I never remember, negative 12 plus 2, negative 10, using that calculator. Okay, so now, let's multiply everything times 5. No fractions allowed, and the 5 is causing the fraction, so let's multiply everything by 5. Todo. Todo is Spanish for everything. So let's go and do 5 times 4/5 x, that's going to be 4x, plus 5 times y is 5y equals negative 50. Guys, that's a tough problem. So I would recommend that you do that one again. It looks like the answer choice is going to be A. 22. Okay, equation that is parallel. Okay, parallel means the slopes are the same. So slope is same. And here our slope is 2. Which means our parallel slope, this is a symbol for parallel, is also 2. And I got a 0.95. I also need a slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b. And if I'm looking through all these answer choices, it looks like each one of them is in y equals mx plus b, so I can't eliminate anything there. I do notice, though, that if I'm looking for a slope of 2, it can't be choice D, and it cannot be choice A. Those slopes are negative half. That's perpendicular. It's going to be either choice B or C. Now, if you really want to know how I would do it, I would actually plug 9 in to x to see how I get to 5. So here's something clever. I would actually plug in 2 times 9 plus 5 to see if I end up getting out this 5 here. And does this equal 5? No. But if I plug in 2 times 9, so let's do this in a different color here. If I do 2 times 9, because 9 is x, minus 13, is that equal to 5? That's 18 minus 13. Nope. Yep, 18 minus 13 is 5. B is our answer. Now let's say you still want to know how to do the problem, though, because I just used my answers to actually get the answer kind of a little bit more clever. If I wanted to actually get the answer on my own, I would do the following. The slope is 2 that I need. The point is 9, 5, which is x1 and y1. I always am going to default to point slope form of a line. So I'm going to go ahead and do y minus y1, which is 5, is equal to 2 parentheses x minus 9. And again, this is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up. So I get y minus 5 is equal to 2 times x, which is 2x. 2 times negative 9 is minus 18. Then we'll add the 5, and we end up getting the answer out that we had expected. And this is how you would solve the problem if you weren't trying to use the answers to your advantage. Okay, 23. The slope of a line perpendicular to the graph of 6x plus 7y equals 482. Ugh. Let's get the slope of this line. Move everything over to one side. Get this in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go in and do 6x plus 7y. I'll rewrite it first. Then I need to subtract 6x, both sides. And I'm going to get 7y is equal to negative 6x. It's a positive 42, so plus 42. And then to get y by itself, I'm going to divide by 7, everything. So divide by 7, get y is equal to negative 6 over 7x, and then 42 over 7 is plus 6. Okay, the question is asking perpendicular. The slope of this line is negative 6/7. A perpendicular slope is the opposite reciprocal. So I got to change two things. I got to change the fraction. I got to flip that fraction. So flip it. And then I also need to change the sign. So the perpendicular slope, this is simple for perpendicular, is going to be equal to, flip the fraction, so you have 7 over 6, and you're going to have a positive value. B is our answer. Okay, write the equation of the line in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. That passes through the 2 points, negative 3, 5, and 7, negative 11. Again, this is a loaded problem. Yeah, this is a loaded problem. And it looks like, I'm just checking my answers here. I could actually cross out a couple answers now, but I'll let you try that on your own and see which answers you can cross out. Point slope form, I need a slope and I need a point. I've got 1 point and all I need is 1 for the point slope form, so I could set this up as either y minus 5 is equal to the slope, we'll leave that blank, parentheses, x plus 3, or, and again, you could do either one. I could do y plus 11 is equal to the slope, parentheses, x minus 7. Now notice plus 7 here, d is out. X plus 3, then that means x minus 3 is out. Let me just re-enlarge this again. So that means that it could only be b or c again. So let's see if it's negative 8/5 or negative 5/8. That means I need the slope. So I'm going to go ahead and do. Slope is y2 minus y1, rise over run, x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 11 minus 5. x2 is 7. And we got minus negative 3, so that's going to be a big old plus 3. And I'm not going to guess. I'm going to go ahead and plug this into my calculator. Negative 11 minus 5, that's negative 16 over 10. Okay? I can reduce that fraction because both numbers are even. So divide by 2, top and bottom. And I get negative 8 over 5. That means B is my answer. Because that means both equations would be negative 8 over 5 and a negative 8 over 5. And by the way, these equations are exactly the same. I know they look different, but because the y and the x values are different, those two equations are passing through two different, this equation, both equations are passing through the same 2 points. And for the sake of time, I'll leave it at that. Number 25. Oh, love these problems. Okay, 2 times absolute value. We got to plug in 2. We got to plug in minus 4. Plus 3 times absolute value of 4 minus negative 3. Minus the negative 3 is a big old positive. Do not distribute the 2 and the 3 in. You got to leave that alone. So we got 2 times absolute value of negative 2 plus 3 times the absolute value of 7. Okay, now what does absolute value mean? Absolute value means to make the number inside positive. Makes the final number inside positive. So this negative 2 just went through a machine, and now it's a positive 2. So it's 2 times 2. The plus 3 times 7, the 7, it's not negative, so it's just going to stay a 7. It's going to stay a positive 7. And I end up getting 4 plus 21. I end up getting 25 out. C. And then for number 26. You've seen these of quite a while now. 1.5 centimeters equals 50 miles on a map. So let's set up a ratio for that. We have 1.5 centimeters over 50 miles equals what distance would be represented by a measurement of 6 centimeters? Okay, so what distance? Distance is miles, so I need to know how many miles I'm going to have for 6 centimeters. Now, before I solve this, I just want you to know that a different way that you could have done this is actually read this literally as 1.5 centimeters is equal to 50 miles. And then we want to know what distance, so that's going to be x miles, will be represented by a measurement of 6 centimeters. These two are the same exact problem. So if you solved either one of these, you would get the right answer. I'm going to solve the first one just because that's the first one I wrote down. And I got to do a butterfly method because I got a fraction equal to a fraction. So I'm going to get 1.5x is equal to, and then let's do this one in green. We got 50 times 6. Okay, so we got 1.5x is equal to, I think that's 300, but you can check my math there, which means that x is equal to, now I don't know what 300 divided by 1.5 is. Gotta use my calculator, 200. Okay, so I'm going to have 200 centimeters here. Now, all of these answer choices I just realized are wrong because the distance would be miles, not centimeters. So this should be a miles here. And if I was taking the test, I would actually ask the teacher, I would say, this looks wrong. Okay, let's go on and keep going. All right, 457.2. The conversion sheet that you should have in front of you should tell you the following, that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. You should also know that 1 inch is equal to, I'm sorry, that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Let's get rid of that. Bye-bye. Go away, green markings. Okay. 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And that 5,280 feet is equal to 1 mile. All right, so we got 457.2 centimeters. Okay, we're going to go ahead and multiply that times. Now I need centimeters to cancel, so I'm going to put centimeters down here with the 2.54. The 1 inch must go on top. And then again, I need inches to cancel. So I'll put inches down here so that I have an inch on top and an inch on bottom. That's 12 inches, but 1 foot goes with it. Then times, again, I need feet to cancel. So I'll put 5,280 feet. To get me miles, which is what I want. I want to be left with miles. And really all this translates into is multiplying the top and multiplying the bottom. So the units, first of all, cancel. except for miles. There's no miles on bottom end. That's what we want to be left with. And the numbers on top is 457.2 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 457.2. On the bottom, we got 2.54 times 12 times 5,280. And everybody doesn't know. Oh, that's not true. Maybe somebody knows. It's not me. 5,002. Okay. Holy moly guacamole, Batman. That is 457.2 over 16,934.4. Wowzers. So when we divide 457.2 by that number, we end up getting out a super tiny number, 0.003 miles. Okay, not many miles in 457 centimeters, which I guess kind of makes sense. Let's finish up this page, and then I'm going to end the video here. So let's do 28 next. The original price of a video game was $49.95. Price was changed to $45.50. What was the percentage change from the original price? Okay, let's do original minus new over original. So let's do 49.95. Actually, I'm going to change that formula to help you a little bit more here. Go ahead and do new minus original and divide that by original. So the new price was $45.50. I'm subtracting 49.95 because that was the original price. And then this was the new price, if you didn't realize it. And then I'm going to divide by the original, which was 49.95. And let's see what we get here. 45.5 minus 49.95. Ooh, that's negative 4.45. Divide that by 49.95. We get negative 0.089. 0.089, yep. Okay, so first of all, we need to get this into a percent, which means we need to move that decimal 2 places to the right or multiply by 100, and we get negative 8.9. Okay, so the percentage change. This price dropped. This is a decrease in original price of 8.9%. Hi, Mr. Covey. See, now Mr. Covey just walked in and ruined the entire video, so we'll go ahead and end here. Decrease in original price of 8.9%. We'll record the last problems in the next video.